Evanston works with women on finding strong, powerful, and loving ways to step into their personal power, own their message, and bring it to the world. She's been featured on the Huffington Post, Spark and Hustle with Tori Johnson, and About.com named her one of the top 6 marketing consultants. She's a published author of The Influence Factor, The Journey to Discovering Your Influential Voice. Hi, Anne. Thank you so much and welcome to the show.
I am so thrilled to be here with you this month, Obi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And like I said, this is an awesome way to start off Women's History Month. I couldn't think of anybody else to help me start that off but you.
Oh.
So I am truly honored that you took time out from your busy schedule to be on the show. And in case you guys don't know, you'll find out when, the intro and everything as we talk. But she is a busy woman. So it's an honor to have her on today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So talk to us a little bit about Warrior-Preneur. I've been friends with you on Facebook for a while. I've been seeing it. I get inspired by you and everything you do. So talk to our viewers that don't know about that, what that is about.
So Warrior-Preneur is a big part of my branding and my work. And with my background in psychology, the warrior work comes from some of that, as well as the fact that my husband is into mixed martial arts. And when you really study martial arts, true warriors don't push to win. They use energy and inertia to create win.
I see.
So it's an attraction to what they do in terms of that.
Right.
And what I have realized though in all my years is that the warrior, especially for women, is really about our own battles, our own internal fights, right? And preneur comes from the Latin word prendes, which really means to be able to understand or to grasp or to capture.
Okay.
So ultimately, we as warriors, our biggest battle is within. And what we need to understand and capture is what are we doing to ourselves that's stopping us from getting us where we need to be.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. I'm sure that took a lot of thought to really come up with that. But it makes a lot of sense though that, as warriors, like you said, as women, usually our battle is internal and our mind is a battleground. So we need to really make sure that we take care of that in order to take care of everybody else, being the nurturers that we are.
Yeah. Right.
Awesome. So what inspired you to start Warrior?
I always wanted to be a business owner. I don't know if anybody else out there is like that, but I just was always one of these people, first of all, the warrior that doesn't want to follow the schedule or program or whatever somebody else tells you to do, right? Warriors have their own path anyway.
Exactly.
Right. And when I went to graduate school, in my journal, I wrote, I am going to start my own business. I just knew that that's what I was meant to do.
Right. So what kind of reception have you gotten from, I know you've had your business for a while now, and we're going to talk about how to start a business and what it takes, what it took for you then and how different it is now. But so far, what kind of feedback have you been getting from people?
Oh, very positive. It's amazing to watch how when you know what you're meant to do in the world, how people rally around it. Your tribe finds it, right? And they rally around it. Right. It's when you're confused about what you're supposed to do that it's hard to find that, right?
Right.
So the response is very positive. I give talks. I've given talks all over the world. I coach clients all over the world. So very positive response.
Now, in terms of starting a business, you've always known that you wanted to own your own business. A lot of people don't have that luxury. Talk to us about what it was like starting your business and the differences that you've seen now.
So, first of all, most important if you're going to start a business is you have to get out of job mindset, because none of those rules apply to being successful as an entrepreneur. And you got to be in hustle mode.
Yeah.
And hustle is something that a lot of people don't know how to do, honestly. Yeah. So learn some hustle, learn what it means to really get out there and hustle to make your money, right? You can't wait for it to come to you. Exactly. So what's different for me from when I started is, the internet we didn't do the internet thing in 1998. You know,
Right.
yes, it was around as a tool, but that's not how businesses marketed themselves. There was no social media.
Not
Uh,
at all.
Technology has greatly changed how fastly we can get up and running, right? But the flip side is that we've lost human connection.
Mm.
And I think the fastest way to accelerate your business is to really create relationships with people.
True.
Have fans, have people who love you. And I'm not saying you can't do it online, but again, from a warrior perspective, if all you're doing is pushing at me,
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention anymore. Are you drawing me in? Are you attracting me, right, to what it is that you do?
Yeah.
And people forget that kind of social aspect that we had to do so much in person 20 years ago. And a lot of entrepreneurs will say to me, I don't like selling. I hate selling. I hate selling. Well, if you do attraction marketing,
Yeah.
right, people will want to buy
True.
versus you're pushing a sale at them.
What other ways would you say is an effective way, to
Well,
oh.
and it's funny to me because a lot of people running around saying they're marketing experts, but really they dabble in social media, right? And have decided they're a marketing expert because they know how to put up Facebook banners. Yet,
Yeah.
if you study return on investment for marketing practices, social media doesn't fall in the top three for return on investment.
Okay.
Number one, still to this day, is direct contact and follow up.
Yes.
Right? So, how do you touch someone? How do you follow up with them? So, that almost says that your email list and developing your list and how you follow up from your list is almost more important. A phone call, right?
Yes.
Call somebody.
People still like that human connection. That
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially if you're a service-based business,
Yeah.
maybe not so much if you sell a bar of soap, yet there still could be that. And I have some soap clients that have crazy stories about how human connection has turned their businesses very successful.
Nice.
But believe it or not, number two in marketing, which is a big part of what my badassery system is about, is speaking.
Oh.
So, in terms of marketing for return on investment, getting out and giving a talk
Okay.
and knowing how to give a talk in the right way, because you got to be careful, can't be too salesy,
Yeah.
right? People will be turned off. How do you give a talk in the right way that either builds your list, because to me, those are the two goals: build your list or get them to pay you money,
Yeah.
right? That's the goal of marketing ultimately.
And I want to tell our viewers, she's not going to give you all the nuggets here today, okay? So you put up her website and her email for you to contact her because she is full of knowledge. So, and talk to us a little bit about the badassery system.
So, the badassery system, believe it or not, I first developed for myself. Because being an entrepreneur, being creative, liking to do lots of things, we can sometimes, confuse our own selves in terms of who do I serve, what do I do, right? How do I make sure the message is consistent, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's 5 steps, and it's really about teaching you how to be more compelling in your work, in person, online, and in front of groups of people.
Okay.
So, how do you communicate your message in the way that attracts buyers, not pushy salesperson, but attracts buyers to your business?
Yeah.
I have clients that work the system now that go and speak at a 20-minute talk, and 100% of the room signs up for their list, and they're closing 40 to 60% in sales.
Wow. And this is mostly people that sell products, or does that apply to people that do other things that don't sell products?
Yeah, my preference is to work with service-based
Okay.
entrepreneurs, because service-based entrepreneurs have some, again, internal battles that they have to deal with. They say things like, "Well, everybody needs what I do, Anne."
Yeah.
Right? They say, "Well, every person I work with is unique." Well, how do you sell that? It's hard for people to know what you're really going to do for them. What are you guaranteeing, right, as an outcome?
Do you have something to offer the world, and is what you offer valuable? Does everyone tell you how valuable it is, but you're the only one who doesn't believe it's true? Perhaps Ann Evanston can bring out of you what she brought out of me. My name is Sherry Prindle of the Professional Coach Academy. Now understand, I train life coaches, certify executive coaches, so I've worked with a lot of coaches. Coaches who do a nice job of helping you set goals, break them down, hold you accountable, and even cheer you on. But none of the coaches that I'd worked with were able to get me out of my own way. You see, I had an objection to my own value, as if some voice inside of me said, you don't deserve success. And the problem with my thinking I don't deserve success is the world does not get to reap the benefit of my success. I realize that now because working with Ann Evanston, and I knew that Ann just got it. Just from listening to her story, she gets me. She's been there. She understands. And in the first of several masterminds, the very first one, I remember first uncovering that inner objection. And then by the end of that very same day, recognizing that the world is waiting for me to unleash. And by sitting here not feeling that I deserve it, I am doing the world a disservice. So now I'm offering my program boldly and at 4 times the price I was offering it before. Working with Ann Evanston, though, means that not only do you have that coach who can just intuitively really help you see what you're not seeing before you speak with her, but you get a whole mastermind experience with dedicated, passionate other people who are on the path ahead of you, lateral to you, behind you, but always working for and with you to be the you that you envision, the you that makes a huge difference in the world. Everyone knows a good coach needs a coach and a full support partnership, which is what I'm able to get working with Ann Evanston.
Awesome. So speaking of being unique and what the system, Badassery system teaches, what really sparked today's, and I'm going to read this, what really sparked today's show was the post that you had on Facebook. And you said, and I'm quoting, there's more than one way to be assertive. You can be authentic to your style and express what you think and feel. My question to you is, in your years of business, what have you found is the easiest way for people to, be authentic, be in their own power, love what they do, and people join the bandwagon too?
Well, and it's a simple answer, yet it's a really hard one, which is know yourself.
Okay.
Know yourself and be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
Right? So for example, I have always said I'm smart, savvy, sexy. And you know this, OB. If you follow any of my stuff, that shows up, right?
All the time.
And I have all the time. And I have had people say to me, oh, you shouldn't show your boobs. Girlfriend, God gave me these. I love them.
Exactly. Hey, show them off.
Right? But that's me. If it's not you and you don't want to show off your boobs, you don't have to show off your boobs.
Exactly.
I'm cool with that.
Exactly.
Yet that's me. And I think what starts to happen is we listen to what everybody else thinks how we should be to be successful instead of really listening to our heart and being comfortable with ourselves.
Right.
And the more comfortable we are with ourselves, the more authentic we can be. And then when we set boundaries or limits with people, we're okay with it and they're okay with it too, because it comes from an authentic place.
Yeah. So, and that is applied to business too, doing business. What about people? I mean, we all in business will have that bad client, that client that makes you rethink, am I really in the right path? How do you go about dealing with that?
Yeah. That's a hard question. There are a lot of people that just say, when you really know who your tribe is, when you know your worth, when you know what you charge for your service, that the problem clients go away. That's not necessarily true.
I wouldn't think so.
My husband calls my one client that's that way. He calls her my wooby.
Okay.
Like I'm her little blankie that she needs her blankie, right?
Right.
Doesn't do anything I tell her to do, pays me a lot of money. I'm just the blankie, right? So, and that's hard for me as a coach because I'm about changing people's lives. I'm about changing their businesses, right? I will say though, first of all, when you know yourself better, you attract the right people.
Yeah.
right? So authenticity has a lot to do with who you attract.
True.
So even though this woman doesn't do the work and she tests me a lot, she still loves bold. She loves that I swear on occasion. She's perfectly okay with me kicking her in the ass with my high heels, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All of that stuff is cool because that's who I am. It doesn't
And she
surprise them.
accepts you for that.
Yes. Yes. And that's the part, that's where you want to get. I mean, why go to business and for yourself and then have to pretend not to be you?
I know. You can do that on the job.
You yeah, go get a day job, learn the fake laugh,
Right,
right?
right.
You know, when your boss says something funny that's not funny, you can go do that at work. Why would you want to do that in your own business?
Very
It seems
true. I
crazy.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about your book. So your book,
Mhm.
The Influence Factor, highlights that influence isn't about position or title, and that influence is the ability to be a compelling force to exert energy that draws people to you. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I um I have been studying influence actually since September 11th here in our country.
Okay.
And wondering, and we use the influencer thing different in social media,
Mm.
but ultimately influence is about how do I get people to yes? How do I create buy-in, right? How do I want people to be on board with my cause, my mission, my business, right? Whatever that thing is for me, that's what being an influential person is about.
Okay.
So the book is really about becoming that kind of force in your life where when you say, I'm going to start, people go, you should start that. I agree, right? Versus
Right.
going, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really the book, which relates to what you asked me earlier. And the book is very much about the discovery of who you are,
Yeah.
right? And how do you find that person in this world? I have people will say to me, well, Anne, just tell me exactly what you say to close that sale, and I'll say it exactly like you. Well, copying me will work for a little bit of time,
Yeah.
but long term it won't.
Yeah, it won't. It's gonna come across as contrived. The
Mhm.
customer will know that it's not
Mhm.
authentically you.
Awesome.
Where can we find the book so I don't forget that? Where can we find
Well, it is on Amazon if you want the paper version. Yet I just decided for the 4-year anniversary of me publishing it here in February, you can get a free e-version on my website.
Okay.
So if you want,
Give it the website again so I can have that on the screen.
so AnneEvanston.com.
Okay. All right, definitely. Well, I'm dying to check that out. So I didn't
Cool.
get a chance to read it prior to the interview. So let's move a little bit into what I know I'm seeing you talk a little bit a lot about on social media is politics. And some people say, oh, I'm not into politics and I don't want to know what's going on. You cannot just do that. You cannot. And in the current political climate that we live in, it seems that women all over the world, it seems that we're fighting for this right, that right. They're taking this away. They want to look into our ovaries.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us a little bit about the shift that you've noticed with your female clientele, if any, since the change in power that we've had recently in our country.
It's an interesting place right now, especially with women, because I see two things happening. I see greater clarity and I see higher walls.
Hmm.
So, greater clarity is coming from women who are willing to learn how to accept versus understand,
Okay.
which is a challenge for women. Women feel like, okay, well, if we don't have the same belief, we can't be friends, right?
Yeah.
We can't get along. We can't, we have to be the same.
Yeah.
And that's a strong thing that comes from how women are raised as little girls,
True.
right? There's a ton of research on it. But there's women who are getting clarity where, you know what, I don't necessarily have to understand, yet we as women need to be able to stand together.
Yes.
Right? Versus I'm scared, therefore I'm going to put up greater walls and block, unfriend, hide, whatever that is, so that my universe is just my little world.
Right.
Right. And that box that I'm staying in. So that's an interesting dynamic right now in the universe. I feel that last year, a lot of really amazing artists and world known people died because I think energetically there's being a space made where women are supposed to step into now and not be on the back side of it
I
anymore.
agree. I agree.
Hmm.
We see it all over the world, and yeah.
Hmm. And it's an interesting dynamic, as you know, Obi, being an African woman.
Mhm.
That's a double one,
Yeah.
right? It pisses me off when somebody says be colorblind. You're a beautiful African woman, damn it, right?
Thank you.
You have the double edge of that, especially living in America,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That throws an extra challenge on the dynamics of how people see and perceive you. But we as women have that chance to show people that pussy does fight back.
That's right.
And
That's right.
and my favorite quote is from the Golden Girls, the woman from the Golden Girls. What is her name?
Which one
Darn
of
it.
them?
Actress.
Oh,
Betty White.
Betty White. Yes.
She always says, I don't understand why they say grow some balls. They should say grow a vagina. It can take a beating every day.
Yes, Betty White. She says the
Right.
craziest things.
Right. Yet the beauty of what's happening right now is women are realizing their own strength,
Yeah.
which we've let other people tell us we're not strong before.
Yeah.
Right. And that's so powerful in the world. The key for us as women is to let go of judgment.
True.
That's the key. We have to learn how to accept versus understand. Every woman has a right to make the choice that she wants to make in her life. Every woman has that right,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if we allow women to have that right to make the choices that are best for their life, and we can accept that of women, we will break that glass ceiling.
Yes.
If we keep grabbing women by the leg because we're like, no, I don't approve of the choices you made in your life, therefore I'm going to tear you down. We don't do that to men.
No, we don't. Men don't even do that to men.
No, they don't. They find the one thing they like about each other, and they might fight it out, but they're best friends for life, right?
Yeah.
So,
We still have a long way to go, but we're getting there.
I agree.
We're getting
Totally.
So what's in store for Warrior-Preneur in the near future? What should we expect?
Yeah. So you have seen some of the rebranding that's been trickling out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about that. I 2014 or 14, why did I say that? 2016, this last year for me was a big year of and how I describe it on a new about page. So the new website's coming out any day.
Yeah.
Peeling away layers. We get to the deeper, truer parts of ourselves. We have to keep peeling away these layers, right?
Yeah.
It's like going from winter to spring. You can't wait to take the gloves and the hat and the scarf off and put on a tank top, right? To peel away the layers.
Yeah.
And 16 for me was really a piece of realizing that my role with women is showing women how we can be strong, powerful, and loving.
Yeah.
That feminine and masculine characteristics are in all of us.
Yes.
And we need both to be respected and admired.
Yeah.
Right. And if we're going to be leaders, as you said, we really need both.
True.
We really need both. So Warrior-Preneur has been testing a lot of stuff with women this last year and networking with women leaders and doing all of this stuff. And there's going to be a whole division of the business that's just dedicated to women who want to step into that kind of power in their lives.
Awesome. How can our viewers help? What does your company need help with? I mean, we all need some kind of help, even if it's like, I don't know. You tell me, what does how can we help?
First of all, I love that you asked this question, especially during, Women's Month, right?
Yeah.
Because women have a hard time asking for what they need help with.
Yeah.
So I loved that this was one of your questions. For me, when I think about help, it's always about visibility. Are you willing to share something or retweet it or, like it or love it or, that kind of thing. So any chance there is for that. If you hear of a summit that you think I'd be good on for a talk or a place that's looking for speakers, throw that at me. I will apply. I travel. So that kind of thing in the spirit of collaboration, if you know of something like that and throw it at me, that would be huge.
Okay. I think we can do that, right, people? I think we can do that. That's easy enough. So before we go, in a sentence, what does being a successful woman mean to you?
Ultimately, for me, a successful woman is a woman who is truly, and it makes me tear up, a woman who is truly, truly, truly in love with herself and her life. No criticism, no complaints. You know, she thinks she's beautiful and sexy. She's happy in the moment. She knows what that means. That to me is the ultimate successful woman.
Thank you so much, Anne. Like I said, I couldn't have asked for anybody else to start this phenomenal Women's Month with me. So I am going to have all your information
Okay.
at the end of the show up on the website. And that sentence just gave me goosebumps. And thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. And to our viewers, please, I'm going to have Anne's information about her book. She has a free ebook that we can go check out before purchasing the actual book. Please, you need to follow her. I can't tell you how much of an inspiration she's been to me. Like this is the first time we're actually talking.
Love you, woman. I know, so cool,
This
right?
is the first time we're talking, and I want to thank you once again, and thank you, our viewers, for watching. And let's be a force to reckon with this month and every month.
And you know that I'm not a secret online. Come and engage with me. I respond back. You know, I'm
She
not like
does.
one of the untouchables. So you can absolutely reach out and I will play with you. So do follow up with what we said and connect with me wherever your favorite place is. I'm there.
All right. Thank you so
All
much.
right, darling.
Thank you all for watching.